The view we heard earlier is that Boris Johnson's Partygate is a big distraction from important things like Ukraine. But you could just as easily argue that Ukraine is a distraction from fun, trivial rubbish like Boris Johnson's Partygate. It's come out of nowhere. There's 100,000 troops on the borders of Ukraine sent there by Vladimir Putin. Joe Biden is consulting with his allies. The head of the German Navy has had to resign. What's going on under all this?
It would be very interesting to know if the people who are saying we should be paying more attention to Ukraine have been paying more attention to Ukraine. I think what's going on here is definitely Russian chauvinism, a sense of ownership over Ukraine, but it's also the result of the West eternally kicking the can down the road, encouraging the Ukrainian belief that they can join NATO and they will be defended if there's Russian aggression, when manifestly committing ourselves to a war against Russia on behalf of Ukraine would be insane. So, tragically for Ukrainians, the West has been stupid enough to commit itself to insanity.
Yeah, and the way it's presented in the Western media is very childish, or at any rate oversimplified. I mean, in a certain sense, I wouldn't want to overextend the analogy, but Ukraine to Russia is a bit like Ireland to England. It's not a clean either-or question. There are large parts of Ukraine where people speak Russian and think of themselves as Russian. So it's in a sense it's too subtle and nuanced a place for the simplicities of a media narrative.
We certainly can't impose any kind of clear binary on the situation. As you say, elements of eastern Ukraine are far more Russian, elements of western Ukraine are far more Western. And I think that those parts of Western Ukraine have been Westernizing, that there is more support for joining NATO, support for joining the EU, has encouraged this level of concern, even paranoia on the part of Vladimir Putin. So you're right, it's not as simple as saying it's just Russian aggression. It's not as simple as saying there's no element of Russian aggression. So we have to try and find the middle ground between the two that can avert any kind of major conflict.